It is the Rocker Skating Podcast on the road and from Lake Placid. Hi, Michelle.
Hi, Jackie.
Michelle is the one in Lake Placid,
I'm
and
still in
I
my
am the one.
hotel, and Jackie, like a
I am the one
maniac,
on the
is
road.
driving home in a snowstorm.
It is not snowing anymore. I have to say the first hour out was very slow,
Hmm.
and good that it was slow because it was still coming down, and now no longer. So that's all good. Well,
It is very
it's the
much
Rocker
still
Skating
snowing.
Podcast.
It is still very
Yes,
much
very
snowing
much.
here. Yes. Yes.
Well, thank you all for joining us. This is, as always, sponsored by John Wilson Blades. And a lot of stuff happened while we were in Lake Placid for Skate America. And Michelle and I, obviously, we were in person, and the two of us have been commiserating all weekend about the great stuff that happened and then the not so great stuff that happened.
Yeah.
And yeah, what were your takeaways?
Um, the panels were in some instances very harsh, in other instances not that harsh. There was a lot of great skating, there was some not so great skating, and Joker forever. Yeah.
Joker Forever.
Um,
Yes, we'll talk about that for sure.
yeah, the weather here was not like the most fun, but when Litvinsev figured finished his free skate, I said this trip was worth it. And I think pretty much anyone there agrees with me. So,
Yeah. I mean, given how the men's free skate turned out,
oh my God.
he was the one who had the cleanest program out of everybody,
Yes, he did.
wh-
That's our boy.
which is which is pretty crazy.
Hmm.
Um, well, to true to Lake Placid Skate America fashion, we had some technical
Oh my
difficulties
God.
in in the form of a judging system downtime
Yeah.
malfunction that happened in the men's free skate. I mean,
History repeats itself.
let's start with the men.
Yeah. So in 2017, were you at 2017 Skate America? I think you were.
I
Yeah,
was.
we were both here. We were working. We were in the venue covering the men's event, and the scoring system went down. And then Daniel Samoan dislocated his shoulder, and then the scoring system went down again. The scoring system like was also dislocated, and then it came back, and then Adam dislocated his shoulder. And we didn't have any dislocations this year, but we did have the scoring system go down mid men's free skate for
I mean,
13 minutes.
it wasn't even mid
Hmm.
men's free skate. It was at the very beginning.
Yeah,
Corey Chircelli did his free skate,
yeah.
and I was in the press conference room,
Hmm.
live tweeting, doing both at the same time, and I was like,
Hmm.
"Oh no, the scores aren't transmitting."
Yeah.
And usually that kind of thing sometimes happens at Grand Prix or at events, period.
Mhm.
And oftentimes what happens is that the scoring system locally is fine, and it's just not transmitting through the interwebs,
Yeah.
and we don't get it until like maybe a minute later. And
Yeah.
then I went back up, and we were waiting for scores,
Yeah. The scoring
and we
system
were
was not fine.
waiting and waiting.
Yeah.
No, it was not.
Yeah.
I was we we were up, kind of the media section was up in the mezzanine area, so I could see everything that was going on
Mhm.
down where the judges were, and they had pen and paper out,
Yeah.
ready to, not even ready. They were scoring everything on pen and paper because they
Yeah.
had to put in everything locally,
Yeah.
and then I'm pretty sure they had to reset the whole thing, reset the network, reset the whole system. It came back. It took 13 minutes, but it
Yeah.
came back.
It took longer than that. They were doing pen and paper scoring when we finally did get back. And then after I think a couple skaters, they actually were fully back doing normal judging. Um, but I'm pretty sure that those guys should have gotten an extra warm up per the rules, about 10
Yeah.
minutes, but they didn't get one. It wouldn't have
Yeah.
been great for TV, so maybe that was part of it, but yeah.
Let's hope that wasn't the case. I mean, I really the Daiwei Dai should not have been on the ice for that long. The referee
No.
really should have just called him over and just been like, "Go sit down,
Yeah.
and whatever, keep yourself warm. We're trying to figure this out." But
Yeah.
none of that ever happened, and I think
Yeah.
the judges weren't panicking, but I'm sure there was a lot of just like general silent panicking going on as to like
Yeah.
what's going on.
His coach was pretty
So
calm. I would have been a little bit sassier than she was. She was pretty calm about
yeah,
it. I would have been like, "What's
right.
going on?" But yeah.
And while Daiwei came out and landed a beautiful quad, it wasn't his
Yeah.
best free skate, but
Yeah.
considering the circumstances,
Yeah.
he handled it very well.
Yeah. Yeah. Um,
But that was kind of an omen, if I'm being
yeah.
honest,
Yeah.
because the rest of the free skates were not very good, with the exception of Vladimir Levintsov. Let's
Oh,
talk about that.
that was awesome. Man, he just went out and he had all the swagger and he just like did a clean program. I think his first quad got like a Q, but
Yeah,
other than that, he sold it. There was so much like swagger and he had the crowd eating out of the palm of his hand, the other
he
hand with
did.
which he was smoking with. So, yeah, yeah,
Well, and at the beginning, the hilarious thing was he was looking at the judges like, and I think there were a lot of people who were like, "Oh no, is he having like a technical difficulty? Why is he standing right next to the judges?" And then they
yeah,
were like, "Oh." And then Looney Tunes came on, and then Frank
yeah,
Sinatra came on, and then Lady
yeah,
Gaga came on, and
yeah.
then nobody knew what was going on
It
really,
was
but they
incredible.
they they still ate it up.
Yeah.
It was
Lady Gaga just
great.
like out there chatting with the crowd. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Um, I mean, after what was like a pretty decent short program
Yeah.
event,
Yeah.
it just ended up going haywire.
Yeah. I was sad to see that Memolo really struggled here. I thought that he had such a good start to the season and it's really been rocky since then.
Yeah,
Um, he had a rough outing, especially in the free skate. Um,
he did.
mhm.
Although it could have been worse. I mean, his practices were so
So
out
bad.
of bounds. Like
Yeah.
they were just not there. He was popping everything.
Hmm.
And when he wasn't popping, he was falling.
Yeah.
The fact that he kind of got it together, I think that was as well as he could have done
Yeah.
here.
Hmm.
Um, and luckily for him, he had that huge score.
Yeah. Yeah. He had that huge score at his um, season opener. I believe it was Lombardia, and he got such a big score that it's going to help him with the Olympic qualification, because the rules are so math based for the Italian men. And, you know, Matteo Rizzo, he's trying to, you know, beat for the second spot, which we think the second spot is, or the first spot is definitely going to be Grassel's based on his high scores. But I think that Memola still has the advantage on Rizzo based on what he scored at previous competitions. It's just, you know, it'd be
Yep,
great to not have more competitions where he struggles.
I know. So I,
Yeah.
I agree. I mean,
Hmm.
it's a 4 point right now.
Yeah.
Memel got a
Hmm.
4 point advantage. The door is open for Rizzo, and if
Yeah.
he will want to have one more good competition if he's able to,
Yeah.
going into Italian nationals.
Yeah. 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 And he definitely
Um,
probably wants to.
yeah, I mean, I do want to go back to the short program because
Yeah.
Kazuki Tomono
Oh my
had
God, so
one of the
good.
skates of his life.
Yeah. That something about the music, the way it makes him feel, the way it makes the crowd feel, it is just electric. I mean, that was
Yes,
just so good. He was awesome.
absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
So awesome. And I had a chance to talk to him
Mhm.
after the free skates
Mhm.
about his short program. And
Mhm.
so it was great to be able to just chat with him about what it was and kind of the inspiration behind it.
Mhm. Did you tell him to change his free skate?
I did, I did not tell him to change his free skate.
Okay.
But let's talk about the free skate because you had mentioned this in a previous podcast where you were like he needs to he needs to go back to an older free skaters,
Yeah.
do something that's more high energy, because
Yeah.
it is true, like it's this sort of like calm, very, eerily quiet program that if
Yeah.
it doesn't work, it doesn't work.
Yeah. I think he does well with music that is really attention grabbing. It's kind of like bringing a friend with you to do something and it gives you more confidence. And something about that like really powerful music gives him confidence. And the free skate he has right now, the Halston music is not the friend he needs.
Yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
I'd love to see him go back to La La Land. We
Yes,
talked about
please.
that because that was such a great program for him.
Yeah.
I do think he wants to show his range. I think he wants to like show people that he can do more than just like entertaining things, but
Yeah.
also like, hey, Kazuki, you have an Olympics to make.
Yeah.
Like he cannot afford to make multiple mistakes on his quads and
Yeah.
then have to dig himself out and like hope that he still gets third spot. So
Yeah.
that's going to be just important for him.
Yeah. Yeah. I would like the record to reflect that I texted you as Kevin's scores were coming up, and I was like, "Wow, he's gonna win this Grand Prix because obviously Kazuki's gonna implode in the free skate," and he
Oh,
did.
you did.
Yeah,
And let's hope he doesn't implode
yeah.
anymore.
At least he got a medal.
What he did tell me was that
Mhm.
he feels like that this was a a new experience for him because he never has really had the opportunity really
Mhm.
to be at the very top after the short program and like with the title ready for him kind of like this,
Mhm.
and he just wanted it too much,
Mhm.
and that's kind of how it worked. But
Mhm.
speaking of Kevin Amos, does he love Skate America?
Oh my God, he's the king of Skate America. Even with an incredibly painful foot, he's out there winning a Grand Prix, his first ever.
Yeah,
And I think this is his probably his last Grand Prix. I mean, we don't know for sure, but I would be surprised if he did another cycle after this. I mean, this could
it,
possibly be the last one.
yeah, would be very surprised. Although he
Mhm.
did say in the press conference, he did say like 2030 is on my mind.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
I mean, because it's France, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that is potentially a motivator.
Yeah.
He also said he was like, I'm realistic. Like I'm getting old.
Yeah. I mean, does
Um,
he have enough tears left to cry to get that
uh,
far? Like, God.
maybe that needs to be his next free skate is Ariana Grande's No Tears Left to Cry,
Yeah. I love
right?
Kevin. He's such a sweetheart, but man, the tears. Whew.
It really goes to show the kinds of just like general mental things that he's had to go through.
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
and there's nothing performative about those tears. Like they are his
Yeah.
emotions are out there for you to see,
Mhm.
and that's how it goes.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, I'm literally trying to remember what happened, and Shidorov was the silver medalist, and
Okay,
it
I'm
was a mess of a program.
yeah, I'm really confused about this because Kazakhstan is has 2 skaters that are going to the Olympics. They have Shidorov and then they have Semadelkina. They sent Semadelkina to ROF and she's getting programs by Shea. And they have Shidorov working with Regini, who is very enthusiastic but doesn't have any choreography in the program. There's no, it's empty. He's just back and forth like a ping pong ball.
I think what's interesting about that too is like you've seen his and Shidorov's, right?
Yeah,
His preparation over the off season, and he posts these Instagram videos about how he's working with dance instructors and
yeah,
choreographers and trying to change his movement. But then when it comes to the programs, my guess is Regini choreographed something quite a bit different for him,
yeah,
but because he's trying to fit five quads in and he
yeah,
hasn't figured out how to do them without without kind of throwing away the choreography, he
yeah,
hasn't.
yeah. I mean, seeing that free skate live was crazy. It was just like this insane music, some upper body movement, and that was it. There was just nothing in it except
The,
quads.
it it overwhelms him, that music,
Yeah.
unfortunately.
I,
So
I I don't know. I like the weirdness of it, but I just wish there was more
yeah,
skating in the program. Um, yeah.
I would not be surprised if he could actually embody the weirdness of it. Um, you know, the diva dance, right? Like
Yeah.
the we've heard that music before,
Yeah.
and it is very powerful, and
Yeah.
it is
Mhm.
probably an opera singer making lots of noises that
Yeah.
are that they have an impact of some sort,
Yeah.
but the impact of that program is not there because of the way that he's skating it. So
Mhm.
and the fact of the matter is he struggled this week in practice quite a bit,
Yeah. Yeah.
and so I think that's got to be weighing on him as he's
Yeah.
doing all of that.
I will say,
So
like, seeing his quads in person, his efficiency and when he jumps is unbelievable. He's just so aerodynamic.
yeah, for
Mhm.
sure.
Mhm.
Well, that was the men. Um, I'm going to go away from that
Okay.
and head over to the pairs,
Okay.
which had similar craziness.
Oh my God, yeah.
Yeah, Miura Kihara
Mhm.
did a very good job. They weren't without mistakes, but they were the ones who held it together.
Mhm.
And a miss in the short. Riku did a double toe instead of a triple toe.
Mhm.
And then in the free skate, Riku put her foot down on the triple toe, and then the double axels got invalidated because of that.
Yeah.
But but without that, like had she not put her foot down, that would have been like a 147, 148 free
Yeah.
skate. They skated very well there.
Yeah. It was great. It was a great effort. I was really impressed too watching them in practice. She was having a lot of trouble with the throw triple loop in the second half of the free skate, but when they were competing it, gorgeous. No problems.
Yeah,
Beautiful.
she was. They were on.
Yeah.
Um, so that was good, but we kind of expected after the short program and
Mhm.
how Metelkina and Barulova skated that
Mhm.
they would, I don't know about walk away with the title, but they would make it very competitive.
Yeah.
And I think Miura Kihara knew that going into that last program that
Mhm.
they left the door open,
Yeah.
but they didn't walk through that door. They
Yeah.
they closed the door on themselves.
Yeah. Yeah, God, they were so tight. They came out and like Nastia falling right away on the solo triple sow. It was like, whoa, because they were so solid in practice. And then the lip
So
coming
solid.
down. It's just I think that they could taste it, they were like, and it's just became too much for them. Um,
Yeah,
it was frustrating too because it's like we were really seeing it like this is the step you need to take. This is the first
yeah,
big step to get to the Olympic podium, the Olympic title maybe. Um,
yeah.
and to see them back off it so hard and get so just off was sad. Yeah.
And Metelkina herself afterwards talked about
Yeah.
how nervous she was. And
Yeah.
you said to me when you saw me afterwards, you
Yeah.
said they looked pale as ghosts
Yeah.
when they were going. Like they just
Yeah.
it wasn't there. The fight
Mhm.
wasn't quite there.
Yeah. Yeah. Um,
And then of course
it's
we had the multiple lifts that went down
Oh
too.
my gosh, it was like well, so I saw a comment from Bruno Marcotte, and he was saying that it's like this can be like a kind of an epidemic. It's just like a phenomenon. It just sort of goes through and infects people, and it really happened here. It was just like these
Yeah.
just weird mistakes.
I mean
We
it started with Flores and Wang had a lift issue,
Yep,
right? And
yep,
then Hake Kunkel had
mhm,
couldn't get up, get their axle lasso lift up, and
yeah,
then Metelkina couldn't get theirs
yeah.
up. So, oof.
And Akopova, Rachmanin had that weird fall in their
Oh,
pair spin where their blades clinked. That was strange.
yeah.
Mhm,
If you didn't see the replay of it, they actually
mhm.
went into the pair spin and both of their blades basically hit each other while they
Yeah,
went right when they went into the camel, and he
yeah,
fell and
yeah.
covered his face because he was like, no, 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 no. That blade is coming for my face. And
Yeah.
she had the stability and steadiness
Mhm.
to not drop her leg,
Yeah,
which was really good for on both of their parts
yeah,
to be protecting each other.
yeah, yeah.
But
Um,
hey, the skate of the day, skate of the day was Laurent and Etienne.
Yeah, that was just so wild. Just in the
Yeah,
early group, they just went out, say something, and they just laid down like a almost perfectly clean program. And they were so happy with their like 121 in the free skate. Like Kellyanne
totally.
was like shrieking with joy.
Yeah.
And it was like, oh, how nice for them, good for them. And then like, oh, they're getting a medal.
Yeah. Skate America, right?
Yeah,
Also a like a lucky charm for them because
yeah,
they had a bronze medal the first Grand Prix and it was
yeah.
Skate America.
Mm-hmm.
And now they get a bronze medal here in very different circumstances because this was
Yeah,
a hard one.
yeah.
This is
They
a deeper field.
they like Kevin Amos have just there's just something about Skate America for some people.
I do find it interesting though with them because what was this 181 or 182 that they got
Hmm.
at this event? That's not far from Pereira Michaud,
Mm.
who I think their season's best is like 184, 185, something to
Yeah.
that effect.
Hmm.
And so, there is the thing where this is probably the Laurent Etienne probably won't go too much past this kind of score,
Hmm.
whereas Pereira Michaud have a higher ceiling. But
Yeah.
hey, if Laurent Etienne skate the way that they did here at Canadian Nationals and Pereira Michaud falters,
Hmm.
could be anybody's game at that point.
Yeah, it's hard to deny when they skate that well.
Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah, for sure.
Hmm.
Airs, oof, love that. Okay,
Hmm.
let's go to the dance,
Okay.
which was less drama filled.
Yeah.
But as you were talking about at the beginning of the podcast, this was where some of the technical panels, the
Ooh,
strictness of it, that came in
yeah.
quite a bit.
Yeah. They were really, really tough. I think Maddie and Evan got the best calls of anyone, and they got like a 2 and a 3 on their footwork in the free
That
dance.
was the only thing. Yeah, it was
Yeah.
the 1 foot. Yeah.
Yeah, I've never seen so many level
Was that the
ones.
only three?
I think Zach Laga, his diagonal step, I think was reviewed up to a 3. Um,
My goodness.
but I mean, they were so tough, and the rhythm dance was a bloodbath. Everyone was
Yes.
getting like ones, and it was no review. One, no review. And
And bass.
yeah, bass. Oh my God, poor
Pattern
Maddie
step
Hubble.
bass. There were three of them.
Yeah. Um, so I feel like when I get to events and I talk to people, I feel like I learn a lot more. And I was like listening to Jean-Luc's um, commentary on the practice feed, and then reading the rules more carefully, and just talking to people, talking to Ben Augusto. He was a lot of help. But like the beats per minute requirement on the pattern dance step sequence, the 120 beats per minute, it really affects how people are able to do their turns, because they can only use 2 beats to do a turn, and they can't get it done cleanly on those beats. And then once they don't do it, they lose credit for it. So it's like impossible to get more than a level 1 in that element. It's really challenging. And
Yeah.
I feel like it's like they've raised the level to a point where most people aren't going to be able to do it.
Right.
Hmm.
And like you were talking about the best teams in the world, they're not able to do
Yeah.
it, right? That's
Yeah.
that's that's a little nuts.
Yeah.
Um, what did you get a chance to talk to Gabby Papadakis by chance
A little
about?
bit. Oh,
Yeah.
I got a little update from Gabby on an issue that we have been discussing at length. And I asked Gabby why. Actually, let me grab my note card out of my backpack. I wrote her a note, she wrote it back to me. I said, why, if the choreographic character step is optional, why do so many people do it? And she
Aha.
said, because it's more memorable, will count higher on components. And I was like, that's interesting, because I don't think about it as adding to the components, but it does. It gives a team like a moment of distinction where they can really do different types of movement.
Yeah.
Um, but I still would like to
And
see it done away with. It's just,
it and it revs up the crowd a lot of the time
yes, it does do
too.
that too. Yeah, it does do that.
There is something about that is like it's like the introvert,
Hmm.
needing to become an extrovert, right? Like
Yeah,
you have to be on
yeah,
during that character step,
yeah,
and that it could be
yeah,
one of those things where it's like, okay, well, this is where I wake up a little bit more
yeah,
and really perform and remind myself that I need to.
yeah.
Um, that's interesting.
Yeah, it's fun working with Gabby too because what she's impressed with is always so interesting. And the team, I think she's across the board since I've started working with her, most impressed with of anybody is the Browns. She loves them. She cannot get over like the clarity of their edges and like watching them
Hmm.
with her commentary. I'm like, yeah, you're
Yeah.
right. And today their free dance was like the quintessential example of that cleanliness. They were just so good.
Yeah, it's good to see them
Hmm.
get that credit, right? I mean, they
Yeah.
got into the 180s.
Yeah.
Their score here was higher than the Shibutani score
Yeah.
at NHK Trophy, and that brings more intrigue
Hmm.
to U.S. Nationals. I mean,
Hmm.
speaking of intrigue, Carrera Ponomarenko getting fifth here
Oh yeah. That
is
rhythm dance
intriguing.
score. Yeah.
I They were skating small here.
They were.
It didn't feel like looking at their ice coverage from where my vantage point was.
Hmm.
It just didn't feel like what we saw from them the last couple of seasons, where
Yeah.
they were bigger in their general kind of projection and skating.
Hmm. Yeah. I felt like, especially in the rhythm dance, they were really on flats a lot of the time. And I saw a really good analysis on Twitter where someone broke down their partial step that got a base, or pattern dance step that got a base, and showed how they jumped their turns, how some of their, edges were
Yep.
very flat. And I agree with it. I mean, I still love the LaBouche though. My LaBouche bias is loud and clear and still here. So, yeah.
Yeah. The top three were somewhat expected. Chalk Bates,
Yeah, you know what, Jackie? I think you're going through a dead zone and it sounded like a robot there for a second. But I'm going to take this opportunity while you're out of service
wow.
to talk about DJ Keha and her amazing work at this event. The mixes she was doing over the warm-ups were great. She's awesome. And I love her. And if I were a skater, I'd have her mix my music and choreograph my program. And I hope US Figure Skating and every other skating federation has her DJ all events going forward because she did a great job. And I heard a lot of LaBouche, and
I
I
mean,
was
we all,
like,
we all love DJ Romeo,
yeah,
um, but DJ Keha is doing a great job. Agreed.
yes, please.
Uh,
She is an
say
icon.
if if I'm back, I would
You are back.
say uh, Chalk and Bates winning pretty handily,
Hmm.
kind of as expected. And then LeJoie Lega and Lopare Brissot were second and third.
Uh-huh.
And then Demujo and Le Mercier get fourth. That was a
Yeah,
surprise
they were
to
great.
a lot of people.
They were so clean. And I really felt their rhythm dance is built in a way, like watching it live, it's really built in a way where it feels like a cohesive program and it doesn't take long. Like you feel like you started and then it's over. Like they just carry you with them. And I'm glad the scores reflected that because I thought that they did
Yeah,
really well here. Hmm.
yeah, agreed. Musically coherent, their rhythm
Hmm.
dance
Totally.
for sure. I mean, especially especially compared to some of the other rhythm
Oh,
dances that where you're like, what's going on with
yeah.
this music and why are you skating to this versus
Yeah.
what you're actually trying to do.
Yeah.
Chalk and Bates with much improved programs from their first Grand Prix,
Yeah.
and like I think they are big on taking feedback and incorporating them, and like
Definitely.
actually what was interesting was I think it was Maddie's one foot I felt was one of the more well done ones
Uh-huh.
out of the group, and
Hmm.
she certainly has been working on the edging and making sure that those turns become clean. Like
Yeah.
hard to get that three, and she got that three.
Yeah. Yeah, she did a nice job. We had our friend Kevin up here from, he works on gymnastics with us at NBC, and he came up to watch the event, and he'd never seen skating before. And his biggest takeaway from the whole weekend was, I could watch Chalk and Bates skate all day. They were so good. Yeah, they just had a really good competition. I like the improvements to the free dance. I think it's good, and they've always been good at integrating feedback, and I think that's why they've lasted so long at this level in the sport. Because
Yeah.
they can be themselves, but also adapt to what the judges want to see.
Yeah.
Hmm.
La Joie Le Gars, still that rhythm dance. I don't think it's necessarily the most well received right now, and I wonder how many changes they're going to make to it. Um,
Yeah.
they they kept talking about it as like an homage to sport,
Yeah.
and that it's Olympic season, so we're trying to like make this very like Olympics y because
Yeah.
it's a combination of all the sports, and it still is not very coherent to me. I still don't understand why Thunderstruck is in the middle. Um,
It feels like being at a
that
hockey
sort of
game.
thing.
It's like at a hockey game and they play the music, you know? Um, I really hate to admit it, and it's hard for me to admit this, but I didn't dislike it as much in person. I kind of got into it. I was like, okay, this is fun. It's fun like a gala program. I think having Marie France like on the ground, like right in front of me, clapping and dancing through the whole thing, I was like, okay, this is fun. But yeah, I would prefer they were skating to something else, but I can get into it, you know.
Okay, well, we'll see how you react to the next time they do this program.
Oh God.
Um, they're in an interesting position, right?
Mhm.
Because they have a bronze and a silver. Reed and Amber Leverchus have a bronze and a silver.
Yeah.
But the totals of Reed and Amber Leverchus end up uh, being the winner of the tiebreak
Yeah.
between the two of those teams. And
By a lot.
so they, by a lot, yeah. And so
Mhm.
they get first dibs at Grand Prix final.
Mhm.
Now, Lega, I think, still have a pretty good chance of
Yeah.
getting into the final.
Yeah.
Next week will obviously be the
Mhm.
Terminator.
Mhm.
Um, but they should probably get ready.
Yeah. Yeah. They can do it. They'll get in. But I
I
feel
think
like
so.
they're
I mean,
gonna be
next
the
week is gonna be
last.
so crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, it's going to be nuts. I'm excited to watch and glad I don't have to cover it. So I can just stay at home and watch it very closely and not be stressed out.
Yes, for sure.
Yeah.
Okay, well, that was dance. Let's end on a high note, which is the women showed up, and they showed up very well, especially the top four, five. The
Yeah.
top five were super good in the free skate.
Yeah. Great.
Alyssa Liu winning her first Grand Prix title, makes it to the Grand Prix final.
Mhm.
Rinka Watanabe, silver. Anastasia Kubanova, third.
Mhm.
Laranaki Gutman, fourth. And Star Andrews with the skates of her life and
Yeah.
gets fifth place.
Okay, Jackie, I just need to ask you because I didn't get to see you after the competition because you did your, Irish goodbye, your favorite thing to do. But I need to know your feelings on Rinka's under rotation calls in the free skate because I
Okay, so
was, mm,
yes,
yeah, let me know your
I,
thoughts.
it was interesting. I was watching those, and if you saw my live calls,
Hmm.
I called obviously the axle was a downgrade. There was no question about that one.
Yeah.
The I called the first Lutz a Q and the
Hmm.
second Lutz an under, and I did not call the Sal.
Hmm.
The Sal looked very clean to me.
Yeah.
I'm not sure where they got the under from, and I didn't get a chance to look at the replay, so I don't know.
Hmm.
Both of the Lutzes were definitely suspect because
Hmm.
she does squeak those ones out, and I've seen those in the past with her.
Hmm.
It actually often happens with the loop, and it's a very sneaky under
Hmm.
that you don't. It's like such a flash in the pan that you don't see it.
Yeah.
But the Lutzes, I figured they were going to review, which they did. So
Hmm.
I mean, to me, I said this on Twitter. To me, it was very close between Rinka and Alyssa. I would have had Rinka over Alyssa in this instance,
Yeah.
maybe by a point.
Yeah.
The component scores, I think, probably should have made the difference
Agree.
for that.
Yeah. I personally I felt it was really harsh. I saw some of those squeaks in her jump landings, but I didn't really think they were under rotation squeaks. I felt like they were cues.
They were cues,
And they
yeah.
were quite aggressive, and it was just very interesting seeing she was so far ahead when she left the ice, and then the reviews and reviews and reviews and reviews and reviews, and it's like, oh wow, all of a sudden she's going to be in second place. I wasn't happy
I
with
mean,
it.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Um,
I mean, to be fair, though, none of those, like we've seen these things where before, where
mhm.
like something happens and then you don't actually see the reviews happen in real time, right? And
Yeah.
then all of a sudden, they start to get reviewed. They were actually being called to review
Yeah.
as the program was going, so there
Yeah.
was no like, oh,
Yeah, you don't actually see the review. You know they're flagged, but you don't
seeing
actually
this
see what they're
everything, right?
doing.
Post
Yeah.
every right, exactly.
Mhm.
So I it, it, I do think first second should have
Yeah.
been third. But either way, they were so close. I thought,
Mhm.
you know,
Yeah.
depending on the panel, it could have gone either way.
Yeah. I w
And it went the
yeah.
way that it went.
I wasn't crazy about the way they called the components either, because I felt like even watching like Alyssa skate, she's not the fastest, and then Rinka come out and just stroking around before she started. It was like, oh, that's better. That's like a lot more flow. And then, for her to be trailing in components, it was just I don't know. I wasn't that
Yeah,
happy with it, but
with the with those two programs, right? Like the way that Alyssa skated
yeah.
that program at Worlds was so much bigger and projection
Yeah.
wise bigger, right,
Yeah.
than how she skated it here.
Yeah.
I will continue to say that with Rinka's free skate, the thing that leaves me with a lower impression of that free skate is
Mhm.
the ending. The
Yeah.
last minute, like the first 3 minutes of that free skate is so assertive, so in your face, like she's just like streaming down the ice. And
Yeah.
then for her to end on softer music and a generally kind of small step sequence doesn't give me the like, oh, I want to give you big components. It shouldn't be that way,
Yeah.
right? But it is the last impression that she leaves to the judges, and
Yeah.
I hope she makes a change to that last minute because it really loses the power.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah.
What about Sharknaki though?
Oh, she was so good. I was so
So
mad.
good.
Point 4 by off the podium. It's like, oh, you're
Yeah.
so close. Um,
I mean, she doubled the loop, and
yeah.
had she skated a clean program, it would have been
Yeah.
great. I mean, what I was happy about was that when they did review the jumps, it
She
was
kept
fine.
them.
Like
She kept them.
like every single jump was
Yeah.
was reviewed clean.
Yeah. And they were. And good for her.
They were. They were.
It was kind of funny, like, I don't know, I haven't skated a free skate in 30 years, but, like, when her music started and she was going down the ice to do her first jumping pass and the Jaws music was playing, Tara's first take was, "Oh god, I couldn't set up my first jump to this music." And it's true. I mean, it's really predatory and spooky, and the way that she does it is just it's pretty brave.
Well,
Um,
yeah.
yeah.
And she's like speeding down the ice
Yeah.
going into that triple let's
Yeah.
have flume triple sow,
Yeah.
and she always like barely has enough room to do that combo
Yeah. Yeah.
because she's just so fast down. Like,
Mhm.
I mean, maybe that predator mentality helps.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
um, Look, that said, Gubanova also had a fantastic free skate.
Mhm,
I think components wise, those should have been switched very, very similar to
mhm,
what I thought about Rinka and Alyssa.
mhm.
But such a good final few skates of the event,
Yeah,
especially given what we saw Saturday night.
mhm.
So I'm happy with it.
Yeah, yeah, it was a good event, and it's good when it's like people are all skating so well, you have to look for little bitty details to see what's
Yeah.
separating them. That's, always a pleasure.
Star
Yeah.
Andrews, though, I do want to make sure we acknowledge how well she skated and the fact
Yeah,
that she just hasn't been that consistent, and
yeah,
everything was squeaky clean.
yeah, yeah. It was good. It was great. Her costumes were great. Her
Oh yeah,
programs were great. If she's really done with singles, this is a great way to go out. Um, Hopefully
For
we'll still be
sure.
at Skate America next year in a pair team, but
That would be crazy, right?
we'll see. Yeah.
Um, One other thing I wanted to acknowledge, Wakaba Higuchi,
Yes. Wakaba forever.
maybe, maybe her final international event.
Yeah, that's true.
She powered through it, and you and I were
Mhm.
were talking about this, the Wonder Woman free skate. There's something a little bit like I'm obviously projecting here, but there's something that feels a little symbolic about the powerful superhero and her
Yes.
journey of like losing her superpowers or something, right? And
Hmm.
being able to kind of at the end bring it all back and
Yeah.
and tell you that she's still here.
Hmm.
And that narrative, my own narrative of that program, just kind of continued to go through. And I teared up a little, right, when
Oh
she
yeah.
finished, because she wants to be so different in this Olympic season.
Yeah.
And but you also know that she is fighting through a very painful foot injury that
Yeah.
I saw her wince so many times picking in on
Hmm.
that Lutz,
Yeah. It's
and
heartbreaking.
it was very heartbreaking.
Yeah. I thought especially in the short program, her step sequence was incredibly emotional. I mean, I was tearing up in that too. It was just she is such an amazing skater and she's had an amazing career, but I've always felt she's been shortchanged and underscored and
Absolutely.
not appreciated for just how good she is. And it was incredibly kind and I will say heroic of her to come to this competition and to Grand Prix Japan and skate
Yep.
through the pain just to sort of get her programs out and, kind of let us see her one more time.
Right, right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, well, that was Skate America.
Hmm.
Anything that you are obsessed about, Michelle?
Oh my
Yeah,
gosh.
tell
I
me,
mean,
Litvinsev.
Litvinsev. Oh, I can't be more obsessed. I love it so much. Yeah. And special shout out to DJ Keha. She was awesome.
Yeah, right,
Um,
right, right.
how about you?
I still can't get over Kazuki's short program. I
Oh
mean,
yeah, that was so good.
such a highlight,
That was
and
so good.
which is hilarious because those like the our two obsessions were from the men's event.
Yeah, and it was a mess.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, yeah,
Uh, all
yeah.
right, well, I'm gonna get back to driving.
All right.
Um,
Drive
it's
safe.
just, hilarious how this has all gone through.
Yeah.
But thank you, Michelle, for joining me. Enjoy snowy Lake Placid for another night.
Yeah, I will. I will.
And for Michelle Ellis, this is Jackie Wong, Chief Skate Nerd and long distance driver of rockerskating.com. As always, thank you to John Wilson Blades and all of their brands for sponsoring us. And thank you to Tara Nichols for trying to braid together this mess that is our live stream for today. But our podcast can't happen without you, Tara. So thank you. We will be back this week with our preview of Finlandia Trophy, the final Grand Prix of the season before the Grand Prix finals. So stay tuned for that, and we'll talk to you again soon. Bye.
Bye.